The news of a new Fragment fusion came as a surprise to most of us who were expecting the next fusion in Raid to be an X-Max fusion. The question on everybody's mind is now, will this champion be worth my time? Will the fusion be difficult? I got some answers based on educated guesses. The first thing we should remind ourselves of is this champion's skills, because on his A1, that leech which hits one target is nothing. It's nothing special. That's what I mean. It's useful in some instances, but it's nothing special in terms of an ability for an epic champion to have. Also, on his A2, attacks all enemies has a 75% chance of placing Hex debuffs for 2 turns. And that is where everybody's talking about now. Hex, Hex, Hex. Because of the new boss that is coming to the clan boss. Hydra? Yes, that's the name. Hydra. So, Hex is kind of a unique debuff in Raid. It's kind of new. Only few champions currently have the ability to place Hex. So, contrary to what you might have been told, this champion, Vildrax, is not the only champion or epic champion that can place Hex. Let me blow your mind. Tylesia can place Hex. Well, not consistently. She has a condition for placing Hex that decreased defense has to already be on the target enemy for her to place Hex. And her X is conditioned on 50% chance to place it. It's not like 100% chance. We don't know yet. I don't have... We can also check. I don't know if this can be booked up to 60% or so. But check her abilities and tell me. I'm not going to do that. Rules the Huntsman is the next person that can place Hex that everybody forgot about. We got this champion, put it in the vault, and we are waiting for Hex champions to come on board and for him to come alive. Well, this is the time for you to crack Rule the Huntsman out of your vault and put him to good work. Why? Because apart from the fact that he deals damage based on when there is Hex on the enemies, and he has the ability to ignore 25% of the target's defense because of Hex on the target, he also places Hex on his own. Everybody forgot about that because we are like trying to use him for a damage build. We didn't consider that he can actually place Hex on its own. So he will be useful for the new boss, the new I keep forgetting this Hydra boss that is coming up. So he also places perfect veils, which is also perfect for that new boss. So he places Hex on all enemies for 2 turns also. So we forgot about this skill, and it's a 4-turn cooldown. Fine, you say this is a 4-turn. Why this new champion has it, may have it on a 3-turn cooldown? Because usually epic champion who has one debuff like this usually have it on a 3-turn cooldown. So this Duke of Flies should be on a 3-turn cooldown. So here is the special part of this epic champion now, if you're considering going for this champion. When this champion places the Hex on a 2-turn basis, on the A3, this champion attacks and has a 80% chance, we might book to 100%, of increasing the duration of all enemy debuffs. That means this champion has the ability to increase that increase that Hex debuff for an additional 1 turn. What does this mean? If you place Hex for 2 turns, increase it for an additional 1 turn, that means you have the ability to wait 1 turn and place it again. There might be Hex on the enemy the entire fight. That's what I'm saying. Imagine placing decreased defense, then increasing it for 1 turn. So that's why this champion comes in a little bit special in terms of making sure the debuffs don't just expire and then you struggle to place it again. So that's what I think is the most special part of this champion. These 2 skills, the A2 and the A3, placing the Hex and increasing it again for 1 turn. This champion doesn't just increase the Hex debuffs for 1 turn. I'm hoping it can increase Hex debuffs for 1 turn, because you know there are some skills in Raid that cannot be increased. Their turn meter, their turn count cannot be increased. I'm talking about unkillable and all stuff like that. So I'm hoping Hex can be increased, just like decreased defense or decreased attack. So this champion also increases other debuffs on the enemies, not just Hex. So hey, if you have decreased defense, decreased attack, and other debuffs, even the leech that is being placed can be increased for an additional 1 turn. So that's what you use this champion for. Take to the arena, take to the dungeons, place your Hex. Rule comes in and nukes. Your Chimera resets. Place the Hex again. Rule nukes, And just like a Seer comp, they pair well together. So I'm looking forward to busting my rule out of the vault finally. Heck, I've not even fused him yet. He's still in my fragment form in my game. Let me confirm that. Fragments, Rule the Huntsman, right there. So I've not even summoned this champion because I've not needed him yet. But hey, with Hydra coming about, we all will fuse and build our rule and pair them well with the new epic champion. But here's the question I have for the community now. Most of the times when new bosses or new content is released to us, especially debuffs, I'm talking about clan boss now, we have one champion who places decreased defense. We have one champion who places decreased attack. We try to get one champion that can do two at the same time. We have one champion that can steal the buffs or place block buffs. So in this new Hydra, do you think it would be wise for us to take two champions that can do Hex? Because most of us will now begin to take, do I take Rule the Huntsman into this big Hydra boss fight, or do I take this new Vildrax into the boss fight? Because we're talking about Hex. That is what they are both known for. So Rule will place the Hex and still does damage. This champion will just place the Hex and sit there looking, okay, when next can I place my Hex again? Can I do it again? Can I do it again? Don't even get me started about the passive heal 10% of stealing. It doesn't work on the bosses, So we're not even going to talk about this passive. You might want to take it to all those teams that has Vogot that keep healing forever, but I don't see it being a useful skill except it has a 40% chance of stealing the heal. That's when it will be useful. Or 30% will be also nice. Not 10%, it's too small. So this passive is not considered as useful yet until we see how it actually works. So that's what I'm considering. Do you think you have this champion and another Hex champion in the same team? I know they are fine for the dungeons, but I'm talking about for this Hydra boss. We usually have one champion to place one debuff, and that's their role. Or one champion to place 2 to 3 debuffs. That's a perfect champion right there. So I don't know if Rule will be the better option. I'm not trying to compare a legendary champion with an epic champion. No, I'm saying for those who have Rule and this new epic Vildrax, how do you want to use them in the same team for the Hydra? So I'm looking forward to those teams. I don't have the details about the Hydra. I've not made much information about the Hydra yet because they're all being released scanty, being released as what do you call it, leaks. They are not leaks. These are not leaks. This is Plarium giving us information. Leaks will be considered something that Plarium did not want us to release, and then it was released by way by mistake or something. I know to create hype, sometimes companies do reveal these leaks and say they did not intend to release it to create some hype. But I don't think this is happening. This is Plarium releasing the leaks by themselves. So these are not considered leaks. That's what I have to say about let me know. I keep seeing people calling it leaks. I'm like, come on. This is information you're giving to your community and you're calling it leaks? Dude. So I don't yet have much information about the Hydra, so I'm not going to talk about that. But this champion is seen as a solution to the Hydra boss. You've not seen a boss and you think this is the solution to it? Come on, dude. So I'm waiting for those teams for the Hydra to come up so we can finally beat that and get that out of the way. I think that's all I have to say. Personally, on my account, I will go for this champion because I never back down from a challenge. And if you're going to consider, will this fusion be difficult? I'll enjoy you to review this previous fusion of Bergot the Malformed, which was also a fragment, and we had up to 160 fragments to collect total, including if you win some tournaments or events and so on. So I think without winning some tournaments, it will be about 120 fragments available to collect. And we had a summon rush in this one. So best believe Plarium will put a summon rush into this one. So this is the time for you to start farming and saving mystery shards. I didn't say ancients, I didn't say void, I didn't say sacred. Mystery shards. This is an epic champion. You do not want to be pulling your sacred shards just to get an epic champion. That's what I mean. We are trying to save our secrets and ancients and voice shards for the Christmas fusion. Don't make the mistakes of going all in and pulling your secret shards, and then the Christmas fusion comes around. You're like sitting there with 1 or 2 secrets. You're like, oh, I should have waited. So if you know this, pulling for this epic champion will mean you don't go for the Christmas fusion as a free to play, don't do it. But if you know you can actually have enough resources to do this and also have enough time to pull more secrets for the main event for Christmas, then go ahead. So remember, there will be a summon rush. This is just a sample of how Beggar the Malformed one looked. So you might review this in Ayumi Love and see if it's something you can do. The events were simple. The fragments were a lot to collect. And I think this is something we can do. But only the summon rush will determine if some people can actually do it or not. Because that's where we will see how many. Because it has the highest number of shards. You see even there they put 30 on summon rush. So let's see how that goes. And hopefully they don't make it too difficult. And that's my view on this whole Vildrax champion, on all the hype going on about him. I think it's a nice one to come into the game. I think it's perfect for Dragon, for Fire Knight, for all those waves that want to nuke, for those who don't have a seer, but you have a Ruel the Huntsman. And you sit there with your champions who do little hits and stun and hit them 1 by 1 poisons and all that. You finally have a nuker to make sure HEX and decrease defense, make sure the entire waves will go down. That's a perfect combination to nuke an entire wave. That's what I'm excited about using this HEX for. I'm not so, hyped about the whole Hydra situation because we don't have all the information in front of us. I want to see the boss. I want to see the video. I want to see everything in front of me. Then I'll be like, okay, this is good or this is bad. Let me know what you think about this new Vildrax champion. It's an epic. So remember that. Be kind to epics. They don't all come in all equal levels. So this one is a support one, and it's coming in at a very good level, I say. So I'll see you guys in the comments below. I'm going for it. Let me know if you're also going for it. Later, guys.